What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Wednesday, October 20th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter, @Josh Engleman. It's the only place you're going to get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. It's a big one. I want to know who it is. And finally, shout out to PrizePicks for being the presenting sponsor of this show. You can see the banner on the screen. Use the promo code Awesemo and get a 100% instant match deposit bonus of up to $100. Cannot beat it. Now, we round out the bottom of my top 10 with Joel Embiid, Cole Anthony, Miles Turner, D'Angelo Russell, and De'Aaron Fox on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, I've got Tobias Harris. He's got small forward, power forward eligibility, 7,200, projected for 37.5 fantasy points. You're hoping for 46, which he hits 12% of the time. Gets him into the optimal about 20% of the time. Taking on a New Orleans Pelicans team that isn't very good and doesn't have Zion Williamson. 34 minutes for Harris. Seems about right. 1.1 fantasy points per minute. We're talking 18 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. Stock and a half. What's not to like here, though? You see Embiid in the top 10. You see Tobias Harris in the top 10. There's another Philadelphia 76er to come, but the Sixers are in an incredible spot here against the Pels. Next up at number 4, we've got Kevin Porter. He's point guard small forward eligible on FanDuel. That's going to be weird to say. 6,100 for Porter, projected for about 34 fantasy points. You're looking for a little bit north of 40. 24% of the time he's going to hit that. 22% of the time he'll be in the optimal. It's the starting point guard for the Rockets. 34 minutes at about a fantasy point per minute. 17, 6, and 5 is the baseline projection. I think all that looks good. Maybe you grab a steal. It's a pace up spot for Houston. This should be a pretty fast pace matchup against Minnesota. And Minnesota should likely be one of the worst defenses in basketball. So not that I expect Houston to be good this year, but from a DFS perspective, there's a lot of opportunity for Kevin Porter Jr. We're going to Charlotte for number 3, LaMelo Ball, 7,600, just point guard eligibility, projected for 40. The goal is 48. I love it. Hits that 19% of the time. Optimal lineup 24% of the time. I gave him 34 minutes. He's a 1.18 fantasy point per minute player, 24% usage, 18, 7, and 6, plus 2 stocks. This kid's going to have a monster year. I'm really excited to watch it happen. But this is also a really big pace up spot against Indiana. Although, be aware, it could be not as good as it seems. We don't totally know what the impact of Rick Carlisle is going to be for the Indiana pace, but I do think that this will generally be a faster matchup for Charlotte. I think they're going to try to get out and run a lot. This is 4.5 possessions over what I think their normal will be. So LaMelo Ball in at number 3. I know I like the Philly side of this matchup, but number 2 is Joval. He's center eligible, but only 6,500. He's projected for 42, which is his goal at that price tag. So he's basically hitting that 50% of the time. 27% likelihood to be in the optimal. I think Joval plays 30 plus minutes. As long as he stays out of foul trouble against Embiid, which isn't necessarily easy, but he's one of the few guys that has the body to actually muscle up with Joel Embiid. He can't get played off the floor physically. Now, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. This guy smashes. 21% usage. I got him projected for 17 and 15 in this matchup, which is bonkers. Plus another stock and a half. It's all going to come down to whether or not Joval's on the floor for 30 minutes. If he is, I think he's in a great spot, and 6,500 is not at all close to what he should be priced given this matchup and given this role on the Pelicans. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. You need to head on over to Twitter and follow me @Josh Engleman so you can get the updates to my sims as we get closer to lock. You need to hop in the comment section underneath this video. Let me know who your favorite and least favorite contenders are. And finally, go check out PrizePicks and use that promo code Awesemo. My number 1 play for today is Tyrese Maxey. He has point guard, shooting guard eligibility. He's 4,600, projected for 32. The goal is just 33, which I think he hits 44% of the time. I think he's just simply the best value you're going to find on FanDuel. I assume he's the starting point guard playing 30 plus minutes for the Sixers. No Ben Simmons, obviously. It's a fantasy point per minute guy. Neutral usage, 16-5, 4.5 rebounds. It's a really nice matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans team that is probably going to play a little bit faster and isn't very good defensively. I don't know what else I could possibly say here. I think it's pretty clear that you want to get to Maxey. The role is there. The price just isn't. So Tyrese Maxey is my number one contender for today's slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Wednesday, October 20th. Now, there's a DraftKings version of this video around here somewhere. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Good luck tonight, everybody. Make sure you're checking out the process show. That was recorded at 6:30 a.m. I'll be back again tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for the process and for the contenders. Good luck tonight.